Hello guys, and welcome to my first ever Football Manager video, and today we're going to be doing an experiment. It's a little bit of a different one, as if I now go into, say, League 1, you'll notice something when my computer loads. There's a lot of minuses going on, and those minuses, well, they're a little bit, well known. If I then go to the Championship, you'll notice a similar pattern, many minuses. But you'll know something about the table order as well, which will probably give the experiment away. Same with the Prem. This is the same for League 2 as well. So basically, what I've done is I've taken the tables from the 2018-19 English leagues, the top four divisions, that's the Premiership, the Championship, League 1, League 2, and I've given everybody minus what they got in real life. And then see, after the season, what actually happens. Do indeed every team end up on 0? Or are we in for a shock? Have some teams underperformed and overperformed according to Football Manager? Well, that's what we're going to find out next. Right, yeah, okay, so we are back now. Well, let's have a look what's going on in England right now. Let's obviously go to my profile when it eventually loads and when I can actually press it. English. What do you want to look at first? I think we should look at League 2 first to keep everything going. So clubs, list, let's go scroll down very quickly so you don't see repetition as a clip. So League 2, as it loads up now, okay. Southampton went through the playoffs against Notts County, but what actually happened overall? Cambridge United, okay, they've won it, but let's have a look now. If we go through stages, let's put that on the league table, I guess. I do apologise, by the way, about the view. There's nothing I can do. I've got it 125%, so it's readable. For me to play it when I'm just chilling in bed, well, yes. I don't know, there isn't much more to say there, but also it's easy for you to read. Because if it's 100%, I've discovered watching other FM YouTubers. I'm not criticising them by that, you just can't read. But anyway, yeah, so Cambridge United, they've done 26 points better than they did in real life. So, did they deliver in real life? Okay, Crawley Town, okay, yes, they've done very well. I don't know much about League 2, so I do apologise. I do realise that the relegated teams, Notts County and Oval Town, are P4 and P5, so clearly they both should have done much better, particularly Notts County, who were priding themselves on, oh, look at us, we're the oldest league club in the world, that is professional. Obviously, that's going to cease to be true very, very soon, because of their relegation in real life. Let's look further down the table. So Northampton doing alright. Macclesfield, who actually got through the playoff semis. No, they didn't go through actually. They got there, but they didn't go through. They lost to, was it, Newport County on penalties. Just to let you know, I am speaking just on the day just before Leeds and Derby played their second leg of their playoff in the Championship. So that's just their time to go. So what I'm saying may be slightly out of date by the time the video is on YouTube, but okay, yeah, so we then get to P10 where Cheltenham have kind of done what they've been expected to, really. The Newport County, nowhere near the playoffs. Grimsby, Lincoln, who are the real life champions, -4, so they've probably not under-delivered. Then you got Vegan Rovers, as one may describe them, and then you go down there, there seems to have Tranmere, well, they're the biggest shots, so clearly they've overperformed real life, according to Football Manager, because they're on -38 here. Ooh. Their form's not brilliant either. 1 point out of 15 in the last 5, as you can see through forms. So yes. And by the way, if you're wondering why I picked crowd disorder, I was trying to think of a very English reason why a team would get points deductions without actually administration, etc. And there were other ridiculous things like match fixing, where they're just like, It is not Serie A, it is not the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, so that doesn't really work. Yes, anyway, let's move up to League 1 now. As you can see, Accrington Stanley, they've gone through the playoffs against Bristol Rovers. And you can see, unrealistic Bradford, who were at the foot of the table in real life, actually win the league. I must admit, their relegation this season was quite shocking. I think Walsall went down with them as well. I can't remember the other relegated teams. In fact, why should I ask? And wonder when I can just go on my phone. So just give me a second as I look down. So yeah, Accrington went through the playoffs. So obviously FC Wimbledon, Scunthorpe, Bristol Rovers, they've been overperforming as well. So that's good for them on Football Manager, but not so good in real life, I suppose. And also the converse true if you're in minus still. All in 9 teams actually over delivering. I mean, Blackpool, okay, they're kind of roughly where they are in terms of points. Just let me bring up League One as the table. Okay, we're on the BBC now. Yes, we're all good. So who got relegated? Yeah, it was also Scunthorpe and Plymouth. So yeah, so clearly Football Manager thought that the relegated team should have done better. That is very clear. I mean, Bradford and Walsall. I mean, Walsall finished 22nd. Bradford finished at the foot of the table, and they're going up to the Championship in this experiment. As conversely, the real life champions Luton Town. I mean, nobody was expecting Luton to do what they did. I mean, they've had a fantastic rise back through the ranks in real life, and obviously here it's not happening, but in real life, yeah. So they've really under-delivered. I mean, 35 points below where they actually did do in real life. And you've got Wickham going down, Portsmouth, who actually won the league trophy in real life, they're down, and Peterborough. So that has quite a few nice stories, because Luton, the way they sunk down to non-league football. Nice drill, by the way, outside if you can hear it. Portsmouth, obviously, they're what is now considered a Europa League. They're in that, and then suddenly, no, League 2 football. So, yes. Burton Albion, who are one side of interesting, because they got relegated from the Championship in 17-18. -9, okay. Oh, Sunderland as well, -10. Ooh. Coventry, who, well, they're having issues with their stadium in real life, as you know. They're on -9. Rochdale, the home of the Big Tig pensioner, as you know. But, yeah, -7 points for them. Charlton, former Prem side, -6. Barnsley, I suppose they're a former Prem side, so that's our Blackpool. Fleetwood are doing one. Fleetwood seems to be the one that I've caught my eye now. To the Championship. This is the division I probably know best. Let's go on to the league table now. Millwall have won the Championship. They have a negative goal difference. Wow. So, compared to Stoke, they'd actually won as many games, but they'd actually lost 9 more. So, and Stoke obviously drew 9 more. You can do the maths on that one. I mean, Stoke, let's be clear, I was expecting Stoke to easily go straight back up in real life, and they didn't. They've really underperformed. They've kind of... Yeah, they were a side that probably hanging on for dear life in the Prem, but didn't really have a side that, if they did go down, could come straight back up. And obviously, you know, you lose loads of players when you get relegated, so that's intriguing. Foot of the table, Norwich, who were the title holders in real life, they're down. Sheffield United, they're down. Preston, they're down as well. So clearly they did have a better season in real life than they were probably expecting to, really, even though they did still end up in the mid-table obscurity. Swansea and West Brom, they're very close to being relegated. Also, they're 2 of the sides that got relegated from the Prem in 17-18. Brentford. So, did they over-deliver with their playoff attempt? Now, Birmingham is an interesting one, I should just explain, because, of course, in real life, they actually got a 9 points deduction. So, I should just explain that I just took minus whatever they had in the table rather than what they would have had without the points deduction. Because without the points deduction, they would have been on -13. Which would have seen them safe in this anyway. Okay, I do apologise. My microphone ceased to record, so I'm having to postcom this final bit. So, as I explained about Birmingham, yeah, obviously in real life they had a 9-point deduction, and I decided to keep it simple in the experiment, you know, just not confuse things, and that's why they're on -4 rather than -13, which is what they would have actually had in this experiment had I decided to exclude the points deduction in the table there that I'm minus from. But anyways, you can see my beloved Leeds United are only 8th in that, 5 points more, but still over-delivering. That would have put us super close to Sheffield United in real life. We'd have got 5 more points, and we actually should have got even more than the 5 more than we have in this experiment. And annoyingly, we managed to get as many wins as Hull. Indeed, looking through the table, we've probably got the most points out of any side in a normal season. So this experiment leagues would have easily have gone up. like they would have done in 89-90, so it was a bit of a shame. So yeah, Hull and Ipswich played in the playoff final, and it was Ipswich that went up, and obviously Ipswich, they were a relegated team. And now as we go to the Prem, well, it's very bad news, because Manchester United, of course, have won it. Then again, and Arsenal as well, being in second, they probably under-delivered on their potential, if we're being brutally honest. Manchester United in particular, because obviously you saw the struggles with Mourinho. Then Champions League playing for a 0-0 draw with Valencia at home. I mean, you got sides like Fulham, Brighton, West Ham, Southampton doing okay. Then on the opposite side of the table, Burnley, I think they won the League Cup in this experiment, because they didn't actually check. Well, I checked afterwards, should I say. And then Liverpool and City got relegated. They really did have a fantastic season in real life, with 97, 98 points respectively. Cardiff were a real life relegated team. They went down, so this experiment thought that Cardiff wouldn't put up a fight at all. You also saw that Huddersfield were in P3. What? To be fair, Huddersfield plays some very dreadful football. You listen to Radio Leeds, you'd hear the words of Bradford, which is why their League One title in this experiment is surprising. And then Huddersfield playing dire football. And you've got sides like Chelsea as well being in mid-table, Leicester mid-table. So a lot of sides in the Premier getting closer than their Football League counterparts, that has to be said, other than the extremes of Manchester United under-delivering, Arsenal under-delivering, Huddersfield putting up a disappointing fight. Fulham were relegated in real life, but they managed to finish 7th. So that'd keep people like Richard Osman happy. But anyway, that was the minus experiment. Thank you very much. As you see, Bournemouth, Tottenham in Europa League with Newcastle Champions League. What year is this? I don't know, but I'll see you next time. Goodbye.